That is Blue Mountain from Tales of a Traveler, and Lakeside, one of my favorites of theirs, so I'm going to be a little selfish and play that one because I just love that song. Love that record, love that band, and we've got Carrie and Lori from the band in studio. Welcome back to Knoxville, you guys. Hey.
Thanks. Good to be here, Benny.
It's great to see you all. I've had the great privilege of working with this band in the past. We did some shows at Mercury Theater together and Barley and Hops down on the Strip. Always one of my favorite bands to work with, always great people to work with. And if you want to get out and see a really good rock and roll show, this is the one you want to go see tonight with Blue Mountain in town. Glad to have you all back, like I said, amongst the gigging, if you will. I guess it's been, about 7 years or so? How long was it since you kind of had the pause button on for a while, I guess? And step on up a little bit to the mic there, which one wants to answer?
It has been about 7 years. We split up in 2001 and just reformed about 6 months ago. So. And
we're, like I said, all the more fortunate for that. You guys cranked up about 91, I guess it was. And it was the early 90s, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. From the Magnolia State, home of Tim Lee, who we want to thank Tim right now for helping
us set
the show up. And thanks to Sean Blair as well. Folks at Patrick Sullivan's, thanks to Tim for bringing you over here. And that's a friendship you've had for a long time with Tim. We stole him, though. We've got him and Susan out here in Knoxville. And we're very happy to have them in town. I guess let's get down to it. What got you here? What got you back to 7 years removed from calling it quits, at least for a while? What has got Blue Mountain back together and gigging? And while we're at it, who's playing drums tonight before we forget?
Well, the drummer tonight's Frank Couch. He's our original drummer.
Yeah.
Who's on the 3 studio records that we did. And I think we had about 7 drummers over the years. He's the one who we used. He's stuck.
Yeah, cool. Didn't
He's
implode.
The real guy.
Yeah.
And I think the timing was just right to do it. Yeah. We had gotten asked to play a festival and a couple other shows, but it seemed like the time was right.
Was it Twang Fest? Is that what it was? St.
Twang
Louis?
Fest was our first gig.
Yeah. Great festival. Great really bunch of people out there in St. Louis, I guess. And so, you got back together, and I guess you practiced first, and before you hit the stage again. How did that feel? How did that go after 7 years off? And but you guys toured a lot, played a lot from 91 till 2001, you said, or 2000. Mm-hmm. How did it feel when you got back together? Did the sparks fly? Did it just feel good?
It felt so good that we just decided not to practice very much. And so we practiced that first time. It sounded great. We practiced the second time. It sounded great, but not any improvement on the first practice. So we quit practicing and just started playing the gigs.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And we hadn't practiced since.
Yeah. You're going to be playing tonight, and like I said, for my money, and not just because I was doing some of the booking of you guys here in town when you came to Knoxville, one of the best rock and roll shows you can get out and see is Blue Mountain Live, and you can check that out tonight at Patrick Sullivan's. But before we go any further, before I ask them a little bit more about what's going on with them, about this whole big Americana ball of wax, that they were one of the bands that I feel really got the thing, kicked into high gear back in the early and mid-'90s especially. Why don't you guys do what you do best? Why don't you do a song for us?
Sure.
What you going to do?
Let's do the 70s song.
All right.
Some new stuff, right?
This is some new stuff, and we're not sure if we have a title for it yet.
Cool.
So right now we call it the 70s song.
All right, Blue Mountain Live on 90.
See if we can get sued by
that TV show, huh?
That TV show.
90.3 The Rock and UTTV The Rock Unplugged. Blue Mountain Live. Let her go.
Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la. We're going on a Sunday drive, riding in a CJ5. If love was still alive, you'd be with me. Rolling down a river road, listen to the radio. I ain't got nowhere to go since you set me free. sexy as Stevie Nicks back in 1976. I know about all your tricks, but I'm still crazy for you. You saw it in a crystal ball, you knew that I was bound to fall, so you gave me the call, and now I'm feeling so blue. Cried like a crocodile on the banks of the river Nile, smiling all the while with your eyes so green. You knew it right from the start, I was born to play this part. Guitarist with a broken heart, it's your favorite scene. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
Very cool stuff. Blue Mountain live in studio. Laurie Stritt and Carrie Hudson. And that 70s song, very proud to say, like I did, that back in the day, we used to bring them to town at a place called Mercury Theater and Barley and Hops down on the Strip. I believe they played as well. Used to play the records here on this radio show, or on this radio station back in the day, and still playing them, and looking forward to playing a new one, which we'll talk a little bit about. But what, as I said, you guys were really one of the early flag bearers, if you will, of, I guess, what folks are calling Americana music. The alternative, I think we were talking about that a little bit off mic. And you guys, I think, graced the second ever cover of No Depression, was that right, magazine? Which
that's right.
It's a shame to hear they're going away from the print version. They're at least going to keep that online, but that's kind of the Bible, and I think that's what they call it, of Americana music. Great magazine who's done a great job of covering this genre of music for many, many years. Where do you think? I mean, if you guys, you've seen bands come and go, you guys have gone and came back, but this whole Americana thing, which is a big banner and big flag with lots of different kinds, singer-songwriter, folk, bluegrass, kind of roots rock type stuff. What do you guys think? Is it something that it's progressed? Do you think it's something that's just gotten bigger? I mean, radio, or at least commercial radio, is such that there's never really been a whole lot of airplay for it, except on the left side of the dial, which is public radio, non-commercial radio, college radio. But, man, there's still some great bands that have been around since you guys started, and new bands still forming, like Lucero out of Memphis. It's really... What do you guys feel about that whole genre, about how it's come about? I mean, it's just, number one, it's good music, I think, and that's why it's still kicking, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it's music that people really want to hear. I mean, most commercial radio these days, it's...
Go ahead and say it sucks.
It's awful. And, I mean, it's funny, the whole Americana thing, alt country or whatever you want to call it, I'm really glad to be a part of it. But it's interesting because when we were growing up, that was the kind of music you heard on commercial radio.
Right.
It was rock and roll, basically, which is, blues and country influenced music,
Yeah.
So it is funny that it's kind of turned into this thing that's not really acknowledged by the mainstream anymore.
Right.
But having said that, I think it's a really viable scene. There's tons going on. There's a lot of great people out there doing it, and people want to hear it. I mean, there's a demand for it. So
yeah, very much.
And it's not just older people in their 30s and 40s and 50s. It's younger people too. So.
Yeah, Lori, we were talking a little again off mic about that. That you guys were kind of wondering when you got back out and playing. Is it going to be those faces we saw that kind of like Carrie and I, a little bit of touch of gray here and there since back in the day, or are there going to be some college age kids out? And I was so tickled to read in the really good piece Wayne Bledsoe did, the News Sentinel. You said there's been a lot of, we call them kids. Let's call them kids or college kids out at your shows. Is that true?
Great. Yeah, it's been interesting because a lot of these people were, they were kids when we were playing, and a lot of them, maybe their older siblings had given them Blue Mountain CDs, or they had heard us at some festivals or whatever, but they're coming out, which is great. So
yes,
it's really encouraging.
Yeah, because it's a lot different day, the day of the YouTube, if you will. I mean, I know I'm here on the front lines with these guys, and like I told you all, we're trying to kind of change that whole mentality of just sitting in front of your computer and getting turned on to music one song at a time here on the radio, giving passes away to like your show tonight, kind of trying to restart that fire, if you will, of them wanting to get out and hear a song on the radio and go, I'd like to see that band live, because that, they've kind of gone away from that because it's so convenient with the whole computer thing downloaded right into their lap, basically.
I mean, I think that's great and everything, but I think after a while, it like everything else gets old, and once a sort of like, well, maybe it would be nice to go out and actually see some actual human beings play music, and so I'm hoping
what a concept.
That, to me, it would get old. I don't know. I'm not 18 years old, but
well, it's wild because they don't know until they see it and get a piece of it, and right now too, with all the software that's available out there, anybody can cut a freaking record and sound like the Beatles. But until they plug in and get on stage, you really don't know. And it's almost a lost art form in a way. But I'm so encouraged to hear that there's been a lot of younger faces with a little less gray than Carrie and I have now at all your shows. That's very, very cool.
It's been great.
And you guys, we were talking as well. You've got quite a few records through your career. Great records, Dog Days, Homegrown, Tales of a Traveler. But you've got something in the works, I think, for this June, you said, a studio record and a compilation record. What's going on with that? Tell us about both, if you will, because I'm looking forward to both, looking forward to playing both here on the radio station as well. Tell us what we can expect with those and when they're going to be coming out.
The new record, we're still in the process of finishing it. We made it in Dallas with this producer, Stuart Sykes. And it's got 9 new songs on it.
Oh, cool.
And we're anticipating getting both of the records out in June. The other record is a collection of like 18 songs. It's kind of like a best of from our Roadrunner catalog.
Oh, cool.
And we cut that stuff in a studio in Oxford, and we primarily did it because 2 of the records are out of print.
Yeah. So you
Homegrown
recut them, or
we recut?
Okay.
What we thought were our best songs from the Roadrunner years.
Right.
2 of the records were out of print, and we thought, we want people to be able to get our music, and we want to be able to make money off of it. So those were the 2 reasons that we re-recorded them. But it's not like we're just going to do that. We've got a record with some new songs too. Great.
And Roadrunner, what a cool label back in the day too. But what you didn't just recut them, you still own the rights to those songs. You didn't have to go back and do it, or do you? Is that? John Prine. There's been a whole lot of other artists who
John
have
Prine
done that.
He was one of the inspirations for doing that.
Cool.
But no, we had the rights to recut the songs, and we own part of the publishing.
Okay.
But we do not own the recordings, early recording. So we can't do anything with them, and really couldn't even get 2 of the records to